Good morning. Ooh, it's loud. Happy Passover, or happy last day of Passover. I know, yeah, I hear that, yes. Many of us are looking forward to sundown tonight. Although I will say one of the things that I learned this Passover, why it took me 48 years to learn it, is that matzah is a really good thing that allows you to enjoy a really good butter. Like a good butter, not just like, a good butter. So, platform, yes. I was going to say receptacle, but I'm not sure that's the right term. So we begin on page 412 this morning. It is the 7th day of Passover, and this is the day when we have come. It's been 7 days since the Exodus from Egypt, and what we celebrate today is actually the crossing of the sea. And I know that we are also here for Yizkor, but it still is the festival, so we have our festival morning service, and then we move into Yizkor. And so this morning, the focus is the miracle of crossing the sea. Then Miriam, the prophetess, Aaron's sister, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women came out after her in dance with timbrels. And Miriam chanted for them, "Sing to Adonai, for God has triumphed gloriously. Horse and driver, God hurled into the sea." And we continue on page 418 as we join together singing Matovu.
Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani berovechaztecha havovetecha. Eshtachaverecha lelechal kodshecha beiratecha. Adonai ahavti me'on beitecha umekom mishkan kevodecha. Vani eshtachave ve'ekra Evrecha lifnei Adonai osi. Vani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. Elohim berovechaztecha, haneni be'emet yishecha, haneni be'emet yishecha.
And we read together at the middle of page 420. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh chol basar umafli la'asot. Before we continue, I want to make sure everybody has a large prayer book. The skinny prayer books do not contain the festival service. They are just Shabbat. So please make sure you have a large prayer book. And we continue on page 432. Page 432. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. And we continue on page 438, and we'll read together at the bottom middle of the page. Blessed is the one who spoke, and the world came to be. Blessed is the one who continually authors creation. Blessed is the one whose word is deed. Blessed is the one who decrees and fulfills. Blessed is the one who is compassionate towards the world. Blessed is the one who is compassionate towards all creatures. Blessed is the one who rewards the reverent. Blessed is the one who exists for all time, ever enduring. Blessed is the one who redeems and saves. Blessed is God's name. With songs of praise we extol you and proclaim your sovereignty, for you are the source of life in the universe. One God, life of the universe, praised and glorious ruler, your name is eternal. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign who is glorified through praise. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mehulal b'tishbachot. And we continue on page 440.
הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ, יעבדו את אדוני בשמחה. בואו לפניו ברננה, בואו לפניו ברננה. דעו כי אדוני הוא אלוהים, הוא עשנו ולא אנחנו. עמו וצאן מרעיתו, עמו וצאן מרעיתו. בואו שעריו בתודה, חצרותיו בתהילה. הודו לו ברכו שמו, כי טוב אדוני לעולם חסדו, כי טוב אדוני לעולם חסדו, ועד דור אמונתו, אמונתו.
And on page 445, we continue with Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, el bekodsho, hallelujah, begiauzo. Hallelujah, big verotav, hallelujah, gerov godlo. Hallelujah, beteka shofar, hallelujah, benever vekinor, hallelujah, betofu machol, hallelujah, beminim vehugav, hallelujah, hallelujah, betzilzlei shama. Hallelujah, hallelujah, betzilzlei trua. Kol הנשמה תהלליה, hallelujah, hallelujah. כל הנשמה תהלליה, hallelujah, hallelujah. The top of page 446. נשמעת כל חי, תברך את שמך אדוני אלוהינו.
And we read together on the same page in English. Let the soul of everything alive bless your name, Adonai, our God. And the spirit of all flesh glorify and exalt your name forever, O sovereign. Transcending space and time, you alone are God. We have no sovereign besides you. God of the first and the last, God of all creatures, master of all generations, who is praised in a multitude of praises, who guides the world with abundant loving kindness and all creatures with mercy. Adonai neither slumbers nor sleeps. God awakens the sleeping, arouses those who slumber, gives speech to the mute, and God loosens the bonds of captives. God supports the fallen and strengthens those who are bent over. You alone do we acknowledge. And we continue on page 449.
האל בתעצומות עוזך, הגדול בכבוד שמך, הגיבור הנצח ונורא בנורותיך, המלך היושב על כיסא רם ונישא, שוכן עד מרום וקדוש שמו, וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני, לישרים נבוא תהילה. בפי ישרים תתהלל, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש.
And at the top of page 450,
ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו הארץ.
you shall always be praised, great and holy God, our sovereign in heaven and on earth. Songs of praise and psalms of adoration become you, acknowledging your might and your dominion. Yours are strength and sovereignty, sanctity, grandeur, and glory always. We offer our devotion, open our hearts in acclamation. Praised are you, sovereign of wonders, crowned in adoration, delighting in song, eternal majesty. And we turn to page 452, and we rise for Baruch Hu.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
And together on page 454, we read together in the Hebrew, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvorei choshech, Osei shalom uvorei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, Uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit, Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, Kulam b'chochma asita, mal'a ha'aretz kinyanecha, tit barach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela, or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera le'oro, baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer Hameorot. And we turn to page 456, and we read together at the top of the page. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us, by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah.
והארננו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו לאהבה ויראה שמך, ולא נבוש, ולא ניכלם, ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד. והארננו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו לאהבה ויראה את שמך. כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא עבדנו, נגילה ונשמחה בתשועתך. והביאנו לשלום בכנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו כממיות לידנו. כי אל פועל ישועות אתה, ובנו בחרת, וקרבתנו לשמך גדול, סלע באמת. להודות לך ולכתך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר בעמו ישראל. We turn the page and sing together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated. And we turn to page 460 and we'll join together in the English. Page 460. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. And we continue on page 465, and we read responsively. I, Adonai, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations. This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you will be my people. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream. Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children shall be taught of Adonai, and great shall be the peace of your children. You are my witnesses, says Adonai, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me.
Of the sea, at top of page 466. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, shira chadasha shibechu ge'ulim, לשמך שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופתחנו ממך יהודה וישראל, קולנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני, כל ישראל.
And we rise and turn to page 468.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 470. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Zara, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konegi Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה, אדוני, Magen Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah, page 472. Ata gibor la'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech nofrim verofer chorim, Hu matir asurim, Hu mekayem emunato לשני עפר. בי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מרח, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה hakol.
And on page 473 at the top of the page, your might, O God, renews the earth. With dewdrops of light and blessing, let the earth be illumined and blessed. With dewdrops of joy and delight, let the earth rejoice and sing out. With dewdrops of life and well-being, let the earth be revived and improved. With dewdrops of redemption, let the earth be redeemed. Livracha velo liklala, l'chayim velo lemavet, l'sova velo l'razon. For blessing and not for curse, for life and not death, for abundance, not want. And we continue on page 476.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ורחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהים לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated, and we turn to page 478. You have chosen us in love and favor by making us holy through your mitzvot and drawing us close to your service, that through us your graces of gladness and seasons of joy, this festival of Pesach, season of our freedom, to unite in worship and recall the Exodus from Egypt. Page 480.
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, יעלה ויבוא, ויזכר זיכרוננו, וזיכרון כל עמך בית ישראל לפניך, לטובה ולחן ולחסד ולרחמים, ולחיים ולשלום ביום חג המצות הזה. זוכרנו, אדוני אלוהינו, בוא לטובה, ופקדנו בוא לברכה, והושיענו בוא לחיים.
Amen. This day remember us for well-being. Amen. This day bless us with your nearness. And this day help us to a fuller life. And we turn to page 482. So we read together at the bottom of the page. Bestow upon us the blessing of your holy festivals, and may we so celebrate them as to be worthy of your blessing. Our God and God of our ancestors, make us holy with your mitzvot, and let your Torah be our way of life. May our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Let your holy festivals remain our heritage, and let us celebrate them with joy, so that all Israel, hallowing your name, may have cause to rejoice. We praise you, Adonai, who sanctifies the house of Israel and the festivals. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Yisrael v'hazmanim. Page 484. And together we read, Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. Page 487. We read at the top of the page. Our ancestors acclaimed the God